What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary back with another video. In today's video, I want to talk about two young Jets players in particular, both Joe Tippmann and Will McDonald, and why both those guys are proving that patience pays off sometime. So those two guys, Joe Tippmann and Will McDonald, not more specifically, it fits the bill, but Will McDonald first, then Joe Tippmann, were the first and second round draft picks from not this most recent draft class, a year ago in 2023. And I feel like people bailed, or maybe not bailed, but were extremely critical of both those guys so quickly into their New York Jets career. And in year two, both of those guys are proving those people wrong. And for hand up, will completely be the first one to tell you, you all saw my reaction to the Will McDonald pick. At the time, I was absolutely floored that the New York Jets made that selection. Quickly after the Jets made it, the stance then has to become, while I would not have went this route, or why I don't think the Jets should have gone this route, like whatever, right? Let's look at Will McDonald objectively as a player. And then for Joe Tippmann, a lot of people wanted John Michael Schmitz, who's a little bit of a surprise that Joe Tippmann was the first center off the board. And there was some panic ensuing. Let's start with McDonald first, and then we will get into Joe Tippmann in the second half. In year one, we really didn't see all that much Will McDonald because, well, there was a ton of guys in front of him on the depth chart. He played 183 snaps in total, which was 19% of snaps, and he still finished despite only playing 183 snaps. 3 sacks and 12 pressures. He was pretty good in a limited sample size, and in regular playing time this season, he's taken a massive step forward that the Jets were hoping for. Their plan was never to have him be ready to go necessarily in year one. Again, you could talk about whether the Jets allocated their resources correctly, but their plan with Will McDonald was to have him be a rotational guy and far down the order in year one, and to then expose him to more playing time down the line. And through 3 weeks of the regular season, he's got 5 sacks and 10 pressures. He's been great. And more specifically, when you look at how much pressure has been on him specifically this year and how he's performed is really impressive. He stepped up in a huge spot after the Jets lost their best all-around edge player in Jermaine Johnson. And when the Jets lost their best pass rusher, Hassan Reddick, because he's never shown up. And Will McDonald, especially over the last 2 weeks, has been great. 5 of those sacks and 8 of those pressures have come in the last 2 weeks. So really, again, it just goes to show you that despite what you may have thought about the player at the time of drafting, whether you wanted the Jets to go that route or not, it's not fair to hold that bias against the player. And then it's also it's okay if sometimes it takes a little bit more time. Not everyone is Sauce Gardner or Garrett Wilson, where they look stellar immediately in year one. Remember Jermaine Johnson in his first year had a very quiet rookie year. There were some flashes, and then he took a big step forward in year two. And the same thing could be said about Joe Tippmann. And that started almost immediately for some people when he was listed as third on the pecking order. As a rookie, he was behind both Wes Schweitzer and Connor McGovern at the time, and the panic that ensued in July of 2023 was, one, very dumb then and still very dumb now. But then when you fast forward essentially a full year, I thought he played okay as a rookie, but then in year two, when he was struggling with his snaps, fans panicked again. And I don't want to say that I was panicked about the snaps from him, but it was a story, and I said that it was something that he needed to work on and he needed to improve, and he's done that. He has been great. He is legitimately one of the league's best centers so far this year in 2024. Through 3 games, he's allowed just 1 sack and 2 pressures. So as a pass protector, he's just been steady, not anything crazy eye-popping as, oh my God, this guy's the best pass blocking center in the world. And he has clearly not been horrible. He's been, again, I would say good to very good at times in pass pro. But where he's been downright dominant has been the run game the last 2 weeks. Sure, in week 1 against San Francisco, the Jets didn't look good. Offensive line did not look very strong. They got bullied in the run game. But the last 2 weeks, they've been significantly better. And Joe Tippmann's been a massive part of it. The Jets, honestly, their three interior guys, Joe Tippmann, Elijah Vera Tucker, and John Simpson, have all performed at elite clips so far this year. The turnaround on this Jets offensive line cannot be understated. It really can't. And sure, it's highlighted by bringing in Tyron Smith, drafting Olu Fashanu in the first round, and trading for Morgan Moses. But don't sleep on the impact of Elijah Vera Tucker, who is still working his way back, by the way, who's been very good. Joe Tippmann, who's been great. And John Simpson, who has also been awesome through his first 3 games as a New York Jet. So can't stress enough how sometimes, it's okay to give these guys a little bit of time. I know we're in a league and in a world where it's very immediate and things have to happen immediately and right now. But I think with these two guys, Joe Tippmann and Will McDonald, the Jets proved, or those two have proved, that sometimes patience is important. Guys, let me know your thoughts. I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.